Hey, y'all, welcome. Whew. So I have an encouraging word for you today that I want to share. So much so that I'm just going live. I was having issues to even get to this point of going live. That's why I know it's just confirmation to me of exactly what I'm about to talk to you about. So the message that I want to share with you is that your gift is making room. Your gift is making room. And you probably have heard this time and again. I feel like this is probably like top tier verses that we hear repeated all the time. Your gift will make room for you. Your gift will make room for you. But the way that I recently heard this message is the reason that I had to come on today, because we can kind of skim over part of it, that our gift is making room, and think that is not a big deal. But I'm telling you right now, it is a huge deal. And if you can understand why it's a huge deal, you'll see why there are doors that may have closed in your life. There are opportunities that feel like they're going away from you. There are things that aren't working out the way that you may have thought they were going to work out. But I'm telling you right now, it's working in your favor. So if you're watching this right now and this message is for you, I promise you, I believe it's going to resonate and you're going to know that this message is for you. And also, if you want to support, the best thing that you can do is just share. I'm not about to go into a promo spiel or anything like that. I'm not about to start asking people for money, nothing like that. But I do want to get this message out because I think that it's for quite a few of us that have experienced this. So if you're watching, welcome. Let me know where you're watching in from and share or like or comment or do something so that we can help get this message out. That's the best thing that you can do. I'm going to jump straight in. So Proverbs 18:16, it reminds us of this. It says, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. You can read it in any any version that you want. But what excited me so much was the piece make room. Now I'm going to tell you what the definition make room says. And this is why this is exciting, because when we hear that, usually we think, okay, I have this gift, doors are going to open for me, life is going to be grand, blessings are going to fall down, and I'm just going to be the takeoff running and, and live happily ever after. But that is not what this means. To make room means to move aside or move something aside to allow someone to enter or pass or to clear space for something. And the reason it's so important that we grasp this is because so many of us at times, you may have experienced doors closing. Some of y'all are going through relationships that have left. Welcome, I see Mississippi in the house. Hi, India. If you're on live, definitely comment so you can interact with this message. But when doors close, when relationships end, people are walking away from you. For some of us, we've experienced where someone just out of nowhere gave you the silent treatment, and you're confused, like, what? I didn't even do anything. Like, what happened? Or a door closed, or an opportunity looked like it was about to happen, and then nothing came of it. I want y'all to celebrate this right now. I want you to celebrate. I just shared a message last week, and when I talked about the celebration, it was because person after person after person was just calling me and telling me how their gift was making room for them. And I was so excited, but in the excitement, it reminds me of this message because doors had to close for them. For that gift to put them at the level that they're at right now, people had to walk away. Doors had to close. It says someone, it's something, moving something aside to allow someone to enter or pass or clear space. As you are operating in your gift, welcome, Callie. As you're operating in your gift, people are going to get moved out, y'all. There are like people are going to get moved to the side. There are coworkers that won't be talking to you anymore. There are supervisors, there are bosses, there are even employees that doors are going to close. Relationships that you're trying to hold on to, opportunities that you thought that was going to be your big break. The reason these things are being moved aside, it's because your gift is making room. And when your time for elevation, whatever that next phase, when it comes, you're not going to be able to drag all of these things with. And so if you're wondering like what's going on, if you're wondering why it may feel like doors are closing, where it may feel like things are being moved out of the way, it's being moved to the side because your gift is making room. And when you get into that position, there are people that you're connected to right now. They can't go where you're going. They don't even, some of them don't want to go. They don't even want to go where you're going. There are opportunities that you thought were going to be your big break that you can't be in contract. This is specific to some of you are upset because there was something you thought was going to happen for you. They were supposed to extend that job offer to you, or that person was supposed to feature you, or you were supposed to be in this space, or you were supposed to be partnering with this situation, and it's not working out. The reason why is because you being in contract in that situation would literally close the door for the next that's supposed to be happening in your life. Some of you are being elevated in a way that if you were to just let any old thing, any old body, any old opportunity, you get in alignment with it, it's going to block the blessing that you're being positioned for. And that's what it means when we hear that our gift is making room for us. It's easy to get excited. Like, y'all know that. Like, it's so easy. Welcome, Nicole, Pastor Nicole. It's so easy to get excited about it and be like, yes, my gift is making room for me. Doors of opportunities are opening. But then we can get into this space of feeling like, well, if that door closed, or if those people, if they're not hyping me up right now, or if they're not supporting me right now, or if this relationship ended, then that's a sign that, God's not doing anything, or God's hand is off of me. No, it's making room. So I want y'all to grasp this. And the reason I want you to grasp this is because the way that you approach this next season is so important. We are in a time right now where there is so much going on. We see recessions, we see famine, we see shortages, we see so many things that could get us to a place of distraction and think that it's a wrap, it's doomed. But many of you, it's in that position that things are being cleared out. Your mind is being cleared out. There are things that have been taken away from you, but because of that, you now can approach that next phase with so much more clarity. You have room. You have room to think. There are people who have walked away from you, but now they freed up your schedule. You now have room to do what you need to be doing in that area of your gifting. And it's so important that we understand that, because if we don't, some of you will find yourselves grieving and holding on to and doubting yourself and being attached to stuff that God has freed you from. You've been freed from it because it's time for you to walk in your gift. And they couldn't come. That opportunity couldn't come. It wasn't meant for you to be on that job for 40 years. It wasn't meant for you to be in that friendship for your whole entire life. It wasn't. Some of these things, they just were not meant to be there. And you're going to see now that how you approach and how you perceive these closed doors and how you perceive these, I just keep thinking like silent treatments, where it feels like it doesn't even make sense. Like, this person just stopped talking to me. It's because it's making room. Your gift is making room for you. And the more that you're operating in your gift, the more that you're honoring God with this season of your life, the more that you're showing up in the capacity that you were called to show up in, there is a transition period. There's the period of the gift. If we look at Proverbs 18 and 16, there's that part where you have the gift, and then there's that season of making room. And then on the latter end, it puts you before great men. Now, I'm going to break that down so that this makes sense. You have the gift. And many of us, as we start showing up in the gift, you may feel like, well, what? Like everyone's going the opposite direction. It seems like doors are closing. It seems like things are being, it's shrinking. It's getting smaller. I thought I was supposed to be blowing up. I thought it was supposed to be, this easy, big thing. But no, because usually when we get the person that you're at, the place that you're in, the things that you're attached to, when you become aware of the gift that you're supposed to be operating in, there are some things that have to be removed for you to get to that place of great men. If you have ever experienced this, I encourage you to share your testimony. Share your testimony. Dr. Pay, Pastor Patience, hey, thank you. Yes, y'all share, because I intended not to go live today, but I had to get this message out, because I'm telling you, some of y'all are doubting what God is doing because you don't see the audience, or because you don't see the relationship, or you don't see, there are some things that you just don't see it yet, because you're getting moved, you're clearing out space. Think about this analogy too of moving into a home. When you get into a new home, sometimes you got to lose it all. And I literally experienced this, where I would have tried to drag everything from the past season with me into the new home. But unfortunately for me, it flooded. So I couldn't bring everything. And so in that space of loss, in that space of having to see my home flooded out, it made room for me to start fresh, even though I didn't know I was about to be upgraded. I didn't know things were going to get better. All I could see at that time was the loss. All that I could see at that time was what was missing. And so for some of you, if you have been thinking this, and I know this may not be everyone's story, but if you've been wondering if it seems like things have delayed, or if it seems like right when you were getting ready, you just knew you were about to elevate, and then that person quit, or this person walked away, or you just knew. Like, I think about the story, if any of y'all are familiar, who let me know is familiar with Les Brown. Les Brown talked about at one point in his story, I love Les Brown. So I remember a part of his story where he was telling about this big break, that he just knew he had this big break. This company was going to order all of these messages. It was getting ready. And then unfortunately, the contact that he had, the woman that he was supposed to connect with, passed away. So right there, he thought he was on the brink. He knew the door was about to open, and then she passed away. And it seemed like the door had closed. But when we're going through those moments where it looks like things aren't moving the way that we would expect, if you truly believe, if you understand, and if you're standing on the verse that we shared, Proverbs 18, that your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. Every door that closes, everything that looks like it's not, it's getting moved out of the way, every relationship that has gone silent. And I keep thinking about relationships. I'm not just talking about romantically. I'm telling you, like, some of y'all have tried to collaborate, you've tried to partner, and for whatever reason, it seems like it just can't come together. I was just listening to someone else talking about this. Like, it's like you're right there and you're like, oh, we're about to go into contract together. We're about to do these things. And it's just not coming together. It's because when you are in that posture, when you're believing and you're trusting and you're standing in faith and you're showing up for whatever it is, and you're showing up in your gift, and you're starting to get bold in it and get confident in it. Welcome, Kathy. Yes. So when you're starting to be in that place, doors are going to close, and thank God for them. And that's the main thing that I want to encourage y'all with today, is to be thankful. If you can be excited, if you can be grateful the next time that you see a door close, because this sounds cute. Y'all, this sounds good. It's like, yes, I'll be thankful. I know I will. But I'm talking any door. Y'all, for some of y'all, there are things that seem major. You just knew you were going to get that job. Like, they borderline took you on a tour. When you went in for the interview, they took you on a tour. You already loved the people. You were sitting there, with the coworkers. You had already found your person. You just knew me and her gonna be laughing, when I start this job next week. And for whatever reason, they go silent. For whatever reason, this door closed. I'm telling a subset of you, there are some of you right now that are watching this, that this message is for. Please celebrate. Do not stop preparing. Do not stop showing up. Do not stop seeing the vision. Do not stop believing that your gift is going to make room for you just because you don't yet see the evidence. Because there is a season between the gift and the great men where the room is being made. And I shared the definition. I'm going to just run it back to y'all again. What it means to make room is to move aside, to move something aside, to allow someone to enter or pass or to clear space for something. Now, the other side of that, the other excitement, the other thing for y'all to get hyped, and y'all, I can't get excited. I'm going to tell you why. I can't yell like I want to, because I almost lost my voice this past weekend, and I'm getting ready for an event this coming weekend. And so I'm excited, but I can't yell because I borderline could not talk this morning. And I was certain I was not going to be on any video this week because I had lost my voice. But so make no mistake, though I'm talking in this very monotone tone, I'm telling y'all, it's time to get hyped. It's time to show up like you've never shown up before. Your gift cannot make room for you if you're not nurturing your gift. If you haven't used the gift, I'm saying your gift will make room for you, but it can't if you're not using it. The gift can't get you before great men if you've taken that beautiful little gift and then hid it in a corner. The gift can't make room for you if you only use the gift once every 7 to 10 years. The gift can't make room for you if you're allowing it to sit on the side and collect dust. The gift can't make room for you if you're apologizing for even having the gift. The gift can't make room for you if you're ashamed of it or if you're not certain that you have the gift. And I want to tell you right now, if you're watching this, you have the gift because you're fearfully, you're wonderfully made. God knew you before you were even formed in your mother's womb. So make no mistake, it's not a coincidence that you're watching this, I promise, because the sheer number of steps that I had to take to get on this live today lets me know that it was meant to be. And the fact that I actually can talk and I barely had a voice this morning lets me know that there are some of you that are watching right now that you're right there on the corner. You're right there on the corner of the great men. And I'm telling you right now, there are people that have like, listen, y'all. Like I said, I'm trying not to put people's business in the street, but some of the celebrations that I received just last week, it's unreal. It's like it doesn't even make sense. Amen. Woman of Faith Ministry said confirmed. Yes. It doesn't even make sense. So some of y'all, what you thought was big, and I want to dig into this really quick, and then I'm probably gonna wrap up. But you say when you're out there, in the streets, you're telling everyone you believe it's possible, and my gift is making room, and I'm on the way. But then if this was your gift, you take y'all, I'm gonna show up and all of this, and you take this pretty little gift and then you sit it back in a corner. Some of y'all are being stuck. So there's 3 phases that we're talking about right now. And if you're watching me, and if you can comment this, so for anyone that comes back, I want them to be able to see it. I want you to write these phases. Phase 1 is the gift. And we're talking about Proverbs 18:16. Phase 1 is the gift. So somebody put phase 1 is the gift. Welcome, Naomi. I'm gonna answer some questions too. So if you have questions about anything that I'm talking about, I'll stick around for a second too and answer some questions. I'm gonna go through the comments. So phase 1 is the gift, right? Phase 2 is making room. And then phase 3, y'all, I'm about to, if I could yell. Phase 3 is being brought before great men. I could tell you story after story after story that literally fits with that framework. It literally fits with that strategy. So if you're watching me right now, the biggest favor that you can do, I'm not going to ask y'all to cash at me. I'm not going to tell anyone to go buy anything. Just hit share. I'm not promoting. Hit share, because there is someone out here that you are connected to. There is someone that you know who is asleep on their gift. And I'm about to break down these 3 phases. So I got time today. We're on a holiday, y'all. So if you have a second, just do me a big favor and hit share. Share this with someone, 1 person, 5 people. It doesn't matter. So phase 1 is a gift. Phase 2 is making room. And phase 3 is being brought before great men. Now, someone just asked a great question. Said, how do you know what the gift is? Let me tell you this. This is so good, because let's talk about the gift. How do you know what the gift is? There are several ways that we can understand our gift. And I don't want to just tell y'all this right now. I'm speaking biblically. So if you are a reader of the Bible, if you're down with the Bible, let's go. I love it. If you're not, it's okay. Don't leave. You can stay here. I'm going to talk about it. And hopefully you can apply it to your life, no matter what category you fall into. It's a safe space, a safe place to be. So when we talk about our gift, there are several ways that you can understand what your gift is. Number 1, it's going to be that thing that comes natural to you. And I'm gonna pull from David there, because there are a few different ways. So we're gonna talk, y'all. We're about to have some fun right now, as long as my battery is live. So if you are catching some notes, y'all drop them in the chat for somebody else. If they come in late, they can just scroll back up and catch the notes. So put it if Dr. Pay, if you have a few minutes, because she's like a excellent note taker, drop a few of these quotes in here. So when we think about the gift, I'm going to use the story of David. David experienced, he had several gifts, and some of y'all are like this, multifaceted. You're gifted in many areas. From the time David was young, for one, he had a gift of boldness. When other people were afraid and ready to back down, David wasn't afraid. David, he had a gift of work ethic. He in each season, I'm gonna talk about why this is important. In each season, David did what he needed to be doing. When he was out there, he was supposed to be out there with the sheep. He was out there with the sheep. When he was supposed to be in battle, he was in battle. When he was supposed to be playing the music to calm down Saul, he was a musician. David had a gift of leadership. David had gifts of boldness. So it's not just a single thing, but the way that David was able to experience and express those gifts is when opportunities came. Someone put this down in the chat, because I'm gonna have to come back and get this, because this is nothing but God. When opportunities came, he used the gift. When opportunities showed up, he used the gift. Some of us don't know our gifts because when opportunities present themselves, we're shrinking back and we're hiding. And when we shrink back and we hide, we can't perceive what God has already put in us to show up for it. So the first thing is that when opportunities present themselves, you have to be willing to show up, right? When opportunities presented themselves for David, when they were going to war and they said, we need somebody, David was right there. He heard it. He said, hey, I can do that. And he did it. Many of us are presented with opportunities and we're right there in the room and you can show up. But if you hide your gift at that time, you're not going to be able to express it. So number one, just think about what are the opportunities that are presenting themselves right now. So that's the second thing that I want you to think about. And I say this a lot, it's blooming where you're planted. When you understand, when we're talking about our gift, no one's telling you to go outside of yourself and find out what other people are doing. What comes natural to you? It could be anything, because you never know the role that that gift is going to have for you down the line. Growing up, I love to do hair. I love to do makeup. I was a cheerleader. I love to do like so many different, a speaker, businesses, all kinds of things. And now that I've grown older, I'm learning how each of those things have played a role in different areas of my life. For some of you, I would encourage you to think back to as early as you can go back. And what were those things that came natural to you? What were those things that you did without even thinking about it? You just did it. And if you are really stuck, one of the best pieces of advice that I got years ago, a mentor told me, she said, go ask 5 people. Now they got to care about you. It can't just be any 5 people. 5 people that want to see the best for you in life. And I want you to ask them, what do they think you're great at? What do they think you excel at? Because sometimes we are so inside of the gift that we don't even realize it's a gift. It comes so naturally to you that you don't even realize that it's a gift. You don't even realize that it's something that other people can't do. It's something that you do without thinking about it, but other people couldn't possibly do it. So the first part, again, is the gift. Now, I'm going to give you all this analogy, then I'm going to move back to the make room, right? So the analogy of this, the analogy of the gift is if someone were to give you, I'm going to use this laptop right here that I have. If someone were to give this to you and you actually cared about it, right? If you cared about it, most of us aren't going to destroy it. Most of us, we're going to plug it up like it needs to get plugged up, as it needs to get plugged up right now. We're going to plug that gift up. We're going to put it in its right environment. We're going to take care of it, right? That's what we do. However, when you have a gift and you're not perceiving it, or you don't see it as a big deal, you won't take care of it. You'll put it in the wrong environment. It's like literally trying to convince a fish to climb a tree. Some of us have a gift, but we're afraid of it. So instead of you going into environments where you hear, like, go where you're celebrated, go where you can nurture your gift, spend time around the people that are building you up. That's nothing to be to shy away from. Use your gift, put it in the environment. So if you're unsure about, what is your gift and how should you show up, ask people that care about you. Think about, what do people come to you? And I would ask all of you this question, and I would love for you to share it, because you don't know who's on this live right now that may actually need your gift. What is something that people come to you about all the time? What is something that you find yourself, when you're doing that thing, you light up and you can do it with ease? And it may be many things, because like I said, with David, there were many things, and all of those things that he was gifted in had a role as he was coming up. Another way that your gift is revealed to you, and I'm going to use the story of Joseph that I shared recently. He had a vision. Joseph was given a heads up before he ever operated fully in that gift when he was a child. He had a vision. He had dreams. He saw what he was being positioned for when he was just a child. And some of you have been given a vision. Someone has spoken it over your life. You've seen a glimpse of it. You've thought about this thing. Maybe you don't tell people about it, but you thought about this thing for as far back as you remember, but you're not showing up with it. And you kind of show up, and I've been so guilty of this. You kind of show up, you'll put your toe out there. Some of y'all are like literally in this place right now. Y'all, and the ones I'm talking to right now, you're the reason I'm sitting here on live in the middle of a Monday afternoon, having no intention to do it, is because God has given you the gift. He's not going to extra give you. He's not going to give you that gift no more. You can go and you can read in Matthew, I think it's Matthew 10. My laptop died, so if someone has that, the story of the talents. He's not going to keep giving you this gift. Like, how many times for some of you do you need to be convinced that that's where you need to be? And I'm going to talk about the make room, because sometimes that make room period is what has us keep going back to phase 1. Like, you're supposed to be in phase 3 right now. Some of y'all are supposed to be in phase 3. You're supposed to be sitting amongst great men. You're supposed to be in the top of that field. You're supposed to be helping people. You're supposed to be doing all of these things with this gift, but you're still in phase 1, because we got to convince you for the next 15 years again and again and again and again that it's your gift. But let me tell you, in Matthew 10, let me see if I can pull this up. If y'all have time today, tell me who has time today. Even if you don't, I'm recording it, so we'll be able to still have access to it once it ends. But whoever has time today, I'm going to just pull up this verse and I'm going to wrap in like a few minutes. But Matthew, when he talks about the talents, I want to read it to y'all because this is so good. It's for some of y'all, it's like you're not going to get this gift again. Like, we're not going to keep trying to give you this gift, right? So with the story of the talents, this would be the one that fell into, it's Matthew 25. Actually, I try to remix it. So if you want to, if you want to grab this, you can. I'm going to read it. It's in Matthew 25. Whew. So read all of it. I always tell y'all read all of it. But it's just like a man who was going on a journey. This is Matthew 25:14. Just like a man who was going on a journey, he called to his servants and entrusted them with his possessions. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2 talents, and another 1 talent, each according to his own ability. And he went on this journey. So we're giving it, like this is right here, guaranteed. I'll get country with y'all with the guaranteed. You already have this talent. Phase 1, you got the talent. Boom, here it is. Here's the gift. The servant who had received the 5 went at once and put them to work and gained 5 more. Likewise, the one with the 2 talents, he gained 2 more. But the servant who had received the 1 talent, y'all, this is that phase 1 talent. He went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. When we have a gift, y'all, we don't have time. I don't know who told. I'm gonna say us. I keep saying we and us because I don't want to get like accusatory. I don't know who told y'all that you have 20, 50 more years to start working on this thing. And so many of us are willing to trade the gift. Like, all right, I got this gift, but instead of using the gift, I'm gonna trade it and I'm gonna do something subpar. I'm gonna stay in phase 1. But I'm still working. You're still showing up. You're still doing like the one with 5 because it said the one with 5 at once. He went at once and put in the work. Some of y'all got the at once down pat. You putting in work, but you're putting in work that no one told you to do. You're not even using the gift. You've hidden it. And so when we think about what is my gift, I'm telling y'all this because I know what that feels like. I know I remember spending seasons of I needed 500 other people to affirm it before I would show up. I needed 1,000 more people to affirm them, and I needed 5 more people down the street to confirm that before I would even put a single toe out. We don't have time for that. You don't know when the master is coming back for the money. And so and this is, according to this scripture, because it has a dual meaning where it's talking about what the kingdom of God is like as well. But when you understand that, if you don't know what your gift is, just use what you think it is. If you don't know, because when we understand that our steps are ordered, when we understand that there's going to be a make room season anyways, if you're not quite sure what it is, use it anyways. And the way that you're going to use this, you're going to use this in the delight yourself in the Lord. You're going to use this in the way that you get the desires of your heart. And I'm going to tell you what that is. It's when you're delighting yourself in the Lord. If you're not sure about the gift, use what you got just in case and keep seeking God, because I can guarantee you, that as you step out, if you're in the wrong, if you're constantly seeking God each day and you're asking God to order your steps and you're praying about it and you're praying for confirmation and you're praying for certainty, I promise to you, you're not going to get so far out. You're not going to waste it. If that was your fear, don't even worry about it. Just do something. Yes, amen. Kathy said, just do something. Just do something. If you don't know what it is, just do something, because you're going to be accountable for what you did. And so many times I see people and it pains me. And that's why I'm gonna have to get off just so I can have my voice for this event this weekend. It pains me when I see people years later and they're still sitting on the same idea. They're still sitting on the same gift when God had already given them the green light. And you have the green light because I'm going to tell y'all what the green light is. And if you have the green light, you're going to do this test real quick. And if you have it, just whoever has a chance to type in, please do me a favor and just say, I have the green light. But take this test first. Just deep breath. If you were able to take that breath, you have the green light, fam. If you were able to take that breath, you have the green light. God has given you breath in your body to carry something out today. And the biggest distraction, the biggest attack for us is in that gift season, if we can stay stuck questioning that we even have a gift long enough, time is going to transpire and we're going to be like that talent, that one talent servant that hit it. And so I would say just do something. I know that was a lot, but for many of you, your gift is going to be revealed in what you have access to. For many of you, you may receive a vision. For many of you, it's going to come in different ways, but make no mistake, whatever you're supposed to be doing is not contingent on something outside of your hands right now. The gift that you have, it's in your hands. You have it right now. The gift that you have, the opportunities that you have, and the way you're going to get to the next opportunity. Let me just add this, then we're going to move to make room. The way that you get out of the opportunity, that get to the next opportunity, to know, like, maybe you're kind of operating in the bottom level of your gift or the scratching the surface, you just outgrow it. You're going to bloom. You're going to max out. David was out in the field with sheep when the prophet came and declared that David would one day be king. He was out dirty in the field with sheep. He didn't look like a king then. In fact, when his father, Jesse, when he was lining the boys up, they're like, well, not that dirty David out. Not dirty David. Like, he's not going to be the king. He's so dirty. Some of y'all might look dirty right now. You might not look like where you're supposed to be. You might not look like the vision that God has given you. But guess what? Once it was declared over David, it was activated. Green light. David had the green light. He had the green light to be king while he was sitting out there dirty in a field. Some of y'all, you already have your green light. But the way that David got to that position of king was he started operating in the gift. He started using his gift to herd the sheep. Then he used his gift with the slingshot. He had already taken out other animals. He took out Goliath with the slingshot. He still wasn't king yet, but he used the gift. Then David got to the point he's playing music. He's in Saul's shadow. He still hadn't been in that position of king, but he was one after another being put before great men. Room was being made. And y'all know David's story. It's worth reading. David had some ups and downs, but so I want to encourage you when you're in that what do I do right now and then? Like, that sounds good, but some of y'all are trying to hurry up and jump on the throne like David, you're trying to be king, but we have to understand that whatever we have right now, let's be grateful in it. Wherever you're at right now, let's be grateful in it. Let's be thankful. And the way we can be in that is understanding that when that season of making room, all of those setbacks that David had, all of that transition time from him being out in that field as a little shepherd boy all the way up to king, that was the make room season. He was getting put before great men. That was that whole time of the room being made. And some of us, we can be tempted. Like, if I had to sum this whole message up, and not saying for y'all to get off right now or anything, but if I had to sum it up in anything else, I just don't want you to miss the season. I don't want you to not miss the season. I don't want you to misperceive your season. I don't want anyone that's watching this video today to think for a second that God's hand is not on you in this season. Even if you have not been in the position, even if you're not sitting on the throne yet, queen, you're already a queen. Even if you don't have the $50 million or the 50 million people or the insert whatever that vision is that God's giving you. For some of you might be 5 people. It doesn't matter. It's not about the numbers. It's about what that vision is. Even if you're not there yet, you are in the make room season. You have the gift. And now, how do we make room? So I'm going to go back. I'm going to tell you how we make room. This is verse 19 of Matthew 25. After a long time, here comes the master returning to settle accounts with him. And the servant who had received the 5 talents, we're going to focus on him because he made room. He came. Y'all, he presented 5 more. How do you make room? The 5 talents servant came and presented 5 more. He said, you have entrusted me with 5 talents. See, I've gained 5 more. And I'm going to tell you exactly what he did. Because we had to, y'all, I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I'll hear people, I'm like, amen, amen. But so what do I need to do when we get off this live though right now? Kathy says she's at a barbecue. Some of y'all sitting out right now on the porch or something. You're like, that's fun. I'm excited. But what do I do? You know, like, what do I do? I'm about to tell you. Verse 21 tells us, his master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. This is exactly what you do. Be faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. Make room. How do we make room? You be faithful. Be faithful with everything that God has placed in your hands today. Some of y'all, have access to so much more than you had in seasons past, but you're so busy looking at Jesse, Messi, and Lexi. They online, and Jesse done jumped out of her Maserati. Leslie done hopped out of the Tesla, and you are so focused on that Tesla, that Maserati, that somehow you think God has forgotten about you. You looking at Maggie. Maggie is sitting on, I don't know, a private jet just flew her into her conference. So now you kicking your feet about even doing your next conference because Maggie had a private jet fly her to hers. Or I mean, anything. You looking at, I don't know, Patty is on vacation. Patty's in Puerto Rico with her husband, and we just swear Patty is doing so well that now you rolling your eyes at the very spouse you once prayed for. Be faithful. That is that, like, if we could sum up what does make room mean as we transition to this part, we have a gift. Every single one of you watch me, you have a gift. You have gifts. We can plural that. You have gifts. Many of you have talents. There are many talents. Like God has freely poured out to you. You can do the hair. You can strategize like nobody else. You're like Dr. Patience Montgomery. If y'all ain't following her, y'all need to click on her name right now. Patience, she has a gift. She can take the message right now. Y'all can look at the notes that Patience is putting in the comments right now and see her gift. Kathy has a gift. Kathy took art and has made anyone that's coming in contact with Kathy, she's bringing out their inner artist. All of you up here, you have a gift. But when we get to that place of making room, we have to understand that no matter what level, and I don't even know if level is a word, no matter what phase of that make room season you're in, we must be faithful. We must be faithful. It says, you're going to be put in charge of many things. That being put in charge of many things is that third phase, that your gift is bringing you before great men. And the way that you're going to get there, I want you to think about today when you get a chance, after we hop off, when you get quiet, after you've, had the cookouts and the whatever we have today is a holiday in the States, if you're in the States. After all of that, I want you to get quiet. I want you to get out a pen. I want you to pray. I want you to ask God, how can I be more faithful in this season? And if you have the nerves to ask God that every day, that is that delighting yourself in him. That's when you get the desires of your heart. And you'll understand that the desires of our heart isn't just some random $1 million check coming out of the sky. You're going to start to desire after those things that God has called you to. And not only that, you're going to be okay when certain doors close. You're going to be okay when it doesn't go at the speed that you thought it was going to go at. You're going to be okay when things are being moved to the side and pushed to the side and taken out of the way, because you're going to understand. Y'all on here, I don't know about the rest of the world, but y'all on here, y'all are going to be able to see that it's just making room for you. So how can we be more faithful? It's so beautiful. I'm going to give y'all a synopsis just from my standpoint. But when I think about, again, disclaimer, y'all, I'm a believer of Jesus and I read the Bible, and I could get into my whole testimony as to how I wasn't always like this. I didn't always believe this. But so when I think about this is the standpoint that I'm sharing from. So that's how I'm going to answer this question. When I think about being more faithful, and when I think about faith building, one of the first things that always comes to mind for me is faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Even if it's just one verse, even if it's just, hopping on the app or something, y'all, I would encourage you, if you can, even if you only got 50 seconds in the day, start your day off first thing in the morning. Find you, if you got one verse, if you never read it before, find that one verse and meditate on it, and ask God to give you a hunger and revelation as you're reading. So the first thing about building that faith and being more faithful is just getting in the word. Because a lot of what I'm talking to you about, it's just coming from the word. And it's always, for me, it's becoming applicable to everyday life. I'll look up and I'm like, oh, this is real life. Like, these are life principles. So and the reason this matters is because when you're sitting in traffic and you're ready to cut somebody off and punch them in the face, you'll be like, ooh, a soft answer turns away wrath. And next thing you know, you smiling and waving at someone. Or when you're feeling like, I'll tell you this, when you're facing foreclosure, or you're the door got closed in your face, or when stuff isn't looking like you thought, when we're approaching approaching a recession, you can look at that and you can stand on times. Your faith will get built because you're like, well, hold on now. Abraham was in the middle of a recession. They were in a recession. And Abraham and Sarah came out on the other side of the recession. Y'all, they came out balling harder than anybody else. This is some real time stuff, because now when you're seeing everyone panic in the face of a famine, you can start, like, y'all who are in like building your faith in the word, you'll be like, well, I don't know. Like, Abraham went into the recession. He came out. So I don't know about everybody else. They're going to be crying. They might be stressed. I'm not stressed. I'm anxious for nothing. Like, I'm standing on it. So that would be one thing. And then the other thing is, the more that we, and y'all, I know it's like, it can get like deeper than this. But also the more that we get into that, then we start applying action, because faith without works is dead. So as we're building our faith, your actions are going to start aligning with what you believe. That's just what it is. Like, and you'll start seeing things differently, because the more that we build our faith, and you can think about just any situation that you're trying to apply it to, then when you believe something, just try acting on what you believe. Like, if you believe that everything is going to be okay, are you going to be like, as we say, because y'all, I just told y'all I'm country, you going to be tore all to pieces? Like, that job didn't call you back, or you going to be tore all to pieces? Or that client was like, nah, fam, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to work with you. Are you going to be tore all to pieces? Or are you going to be standing in faith, knowing that whatever you're putting in is what's going to come out in those moments? So that's one of the ways that we can be faithful. And then really just trusting God. Like, sometimes we can overcomplicate it, but this is a good example that I got. Y'all, I feel like I'm getting super preachy. Oh, I'm getting super preachy. I done hit y'all like 17 stories. But hopefully it's whoever it's for, it's resonating. So this is another story with I shared this one recently with Rebecca. So with Rebecca and Isaac. So the servant was going out to find a wife for Isaac, right? So as he was going out, this was so good to me. And there's another verse in Isaiah 65 that you can read that like confirms this. But I ain't gonna verse y'all to death today. So if I remember some of them, I'll come back and put it in. Or if you want the verses I'm talking about, if y'all just message me and I'll try to come back and share it. So the servant is going out because he was ordered to go and find a wife for Isaac. And he said, as he prayed in his heart, like, this is just being faithful, y'all. This isn't any like turn around 3 times and, you got to write for 30 hours and you got to pray in tongues for 6 months. Literally, the servant said he prayed in his heart, and before he could even finish, Rebecca did everything that he was praying about. Gideon is another testimony of that. Hannah, the mother of Samuel, who ended up anointing David. Y'all, look, it's the whole saga. If you watch Real Housewives of anything or Love and Hip Hop of anything, read the Bible, man. It's like even better stories when you get to know these people. That was a moment of faith where he was being faithful, because he said, before I go and do this action, before I do this thing, I'm just going to give it to God first, right? So he just prayed in his heart. He didn't go out in the street corners. He didn't start shouting. He didn't get 15 elders to vouch for him. He didn't even get on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching me. I know I'm streaming on a few platforms. The servant, he didn't do any of that. He prayed in his heart, and God answered it. So that's another answer. That's such a good question, Kathy. Like, that's so practical. Like, how can we be more faithful? My answer would be get into the word, pray. We all pray. You have the ability to. If you want to know how to pray, Jesus tells us in Matthew 6. And it really breaks down, like, coming to God in gratitude, asking for forgiveness, like knowing that we're not showing up perfect, nor does God expect us to show up perfect. So that's like the forgive us our trespasses as we forgive others. That's another way we go into prayer. You don't go into prayer, you're bitter. You hate somebody because they cut you off in traffic, but then you're like, hey, God, look out for me. But I ain't looking out for anyone else. So that's some of the ways that we can just be faithful. Another thing that Jesus also encourages us to do in Matthew 6 is fast. I know when I'm on a fast, it's like the clarity, and I'll consult your doctors or consult, God. I'm not telling anyone that this is what you must do, but being in that place too, fasting is powerful, in my opinion. Fasting, prayer, and reading the words, like reading God's word each day. I know it sounds simple, but when I tell you, it's a game changer, because it will open your eyes to things that you didn't even know were available. It'll open opportunities, connect you with the right people at the right time. It'll haul off and make room for you and bring you before great men. And it's because it's not about having all the answers. It's literally, here it is. I'm gonna sum it up to answer this. To answer what Kathy said, it's that daily bread. It's just waking up each day and saying, I surrender, God. What would you have for me to do today? I'm gonna be faithful. Because it's when we get so future focused on the sweet by and by, and we get so overwhelmed by what could happen, that we miss the opportunity to be faithful with where we're at. So that's it, y'all. Phase 1, you have a gift. Phase 2, let it make room for you. Be faithful over it. Being faithful means show up, use the gift. Max out each day, whatever you have access to. If you've been gifted, if any of y'all are watching me right now, you have somewhere to live, clean the house up. Take care of your home. If any of you are watching right now and you have a vehicle, clean your car up, take care of it, be faithful with it. If any of you are watching me and you have children, love them, hug them, train them in the way they should go, be excited to see them, be thankful for them. If you have a spouse, this is being faithful. Be faithful for that spouse. If you're in a season where you don't have anyone and you're in a single season, be faithful, be excited in that season. Be thankful. Be grateful. That's the best way. That's what that being faithful is, just being so grateful and taking care of everything that you can take care of. And just trusting God to order, because sometimes you might be in a season of rest where you just sit on down and be quiet. Maybe there is no action for you to take. And the way we know that is in that prayer. And then finally, your gift will make room for you. It's bringing you before great men. So when that happens, perceive it, receive it, and reach back and help someone else. So y'all, I'm coming to a close. I can feel my throat. I feel the voice rising up to try to dip out. So thank you for those of you that have been on live. Thank you for your comments and sharing, for those of you that have shared. If you're watching me on a place where you can subscribe, for those of you on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. Tell someone, tag someone. I'm going to go ahead and wrap. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you, Patience, Kathy. And if I'm missing anyone else that's on right now, thank you all for being on the live. And as you see what's scrolling, go to amplifyherlounge.com if you want to hear more messages and encouragement as well. All right, y'all, I'm out. I think I'm going to go back and rewatch it. So for everyone that put notes in this coming week, I'm going to find time to come back and rewatch it. So whenever we catch each other in the streets, we're going to catch each other making room for this gift. We're going to catch each other being faithful. All right, y'all, take care.